Hello everyone. This is Navneet Misra from NviNomics, and today we have Aranya Chakarborty sir, who is currently an assistant professor from in Ahmedabad University, and he has done PhD from McGill University, Canada. So welcome, sir, and that's such a great research you have, which is not possible to talk in just a few minutes. So please, sir, it's up to you.
So, hello, thank you for inviting me and for the nice introduction. So as you said, I finished my PhD from McGill back in 2023, and that's when I joined Ahmedabad University. And it's been about 2 years I'm here. And yeah, I'm a development economist, you can say, but I wouldn't say like a theoretical development economist. I'm more of an applied micro person. So I do applied micro topics that are development related, essentially. And so that's basically my research in terms of going more detail about what are the topics I work on. I work on issues related to technology adoption, especially in the context of agricultural individuals, like
Yes.
agriculture in an agricultural setup.
Smart climate agriculture and all. Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's about. I mean, technology here is very much an umbrella term. So you can think of technology being something like a tractor or some kind of irrigation system and stuff like that. But you can also think of it just some simple practices of preparing the land before harvest, like peat planting or how to do crop residue management and
Yes,
stuff
sir.
like that. So something as simple as that, and the economic problem here really is that it's something that will benefit, give you some benefit in the long run, but not so much in the short run. But as an economic agent, more often than not, people don't think about the long run that much. They think about the short run. So in the short run, the cost is high, but the benefit is not realized yet. It will be realized at some point in the future. So as a result, what they do, they don't adopt these practices, or they grow crops more intensively. Maybe they should give the land some time to recover. Instead of doing that, they keep producing multiple crops and do more intensive farming. And as a result of that, in the short run, they have a monetary gain coming out of it because they will produce more. But in the long run, this land will lose its productivity, and that will essentially, be detrimental for everyone in the long run. So, that's kind of a broad problem, and there are several reasons why one would do that. So, one of the, I would say, most popular reason being that people just don't have and so if they want to adopt certain technology, maybe they don't have the money associated with it.
Yes.
Doing it right.
True.
And so there can be an issue of you not having enough money, or you just not having enough money at the right time. So maybe in June you are going to do something, you need the money in June, but you don't have money in June. You will have the money in November. And so if in an ideal scenario, you will have a well functioning credit market which will lend you some money in June and you can pay them back in November. But that may or may not exist all the time. And so that these are like all different types of reasons like liquidity constraints, credit constraints, and monetary reasons. But that's not what I focus on. I focus on more of the information side of things, which is that you don't have information about this technology, or you don't know whether it exists or not. Even if you do know it exists, you don't know how to actually use it in practice. And even if you know how to use it in practice and you know it exists, it may be so that you just think that this is not applicable for you.
Yes.
And so there can be a variety of these reasons for which you end up not adopting the technology. And so my research focuses on kind of how these individuals can learn, right? Essentially, this is an information problem. Yes. So, which means that there can be, with some learning, this can resolve. So, they can learn in two ways, broadly categorized. One is they can learn by themselves, which is some kind of a learning from your own experience, learning from doing. And then there is a second category, which is you will learn from other people's experience, and other people will do some will do something, they will gain some experiential knowledge from that, and you will not know from their experience, right? And they will inform you if you are in part of their social network and stuff. So these are like the two broad categories. My research focuses on both these types of learning, both understanding how well you can learn from experience, how well you can learn by doing yourself, as well as how well you can learn from your social connections, and what kind of government policies can be taken to improve this both these types of learning, both this kind of channel, this kind of social learning, as well as learning from your own experience. So that's, I would say, broadly speaking, that's the kind of research I do.
Yeah, that's a really amazing and a very relevant topic, because if you see the research, if it doesn't solve the current problem, then the very purpose of research seems to be really decaying. And sir, the most important part I realized in your research, that you are very much passionate. You have worked outside already. You've been the part of teaching assistant as well, and such a young age you are the assistant professor in such a reputed institute. And before dive into, I also found you have a good cohort, like good, great people, young mind, coming from the different background. Half of them are from foreign institutes, many of them are from IIM, IIT. So definitely we are quite hopeful ki the batch will be joining. They have definitely will get the rich experience. Coming to the sir per se university and your teaching things, when it comes to the Ahmedabad University, I found personally on the official website teaching curriculum and the courses are very much diverse. So the first and foremost thing for any student or for any research people, once we join the masters, definitely we are thinking of doing the PhD things. So before jumping into there, I would like to just ask, in the current days, how any student should judge themselves. Shall I be ready for the research, or shall I do the MNC things or the private job things? So it is very a dilemma kind of things. Even before joining the research, I am also doing PhD. So people are usually in dilemma, and here comes the role of guru, the role of mentor, the role of educator, who can definitely guide them through the primary data, secondary data, the kind of methodology they would be using. So sir, please can you just show the correct guidance for the newcomers who is looking for the research, and how they can develop the research things for the future career?
Okay, so there are two different, I think there are two different questions you're asking. So
yes, sir.
One thing is, in general, what to do in their career.
Yes,
right?
yes, correct.
And this part entirely depends on your own ambitions, your own objectives.
True.
And there is a trade-off to everything.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you can of course do a PhD, spend 5-6 years of your life, but then those are 5-6 years gone, and then you will be able to get into certain kind of jobs, but not the other kind of jobs.
True.
On the other hand, you may decide not to do a PhD, and you may want to go to an industry right after doing masters, which is fine too. I mean, it's I don't feel like the PhD is for everybody.
True.
At the same time, being in the corporate is also not for everybody.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's really a matter of what is most suitable for you. Right. So if you think you can survive in the corporate, and you are not so you don't really have an ambition of spending 5-6 years of your life doing completely research and then getting a PhD, then going into the market. If you don't want to do that, then you should definitely go for a corporate job, and you can also go for some kind of policy relevant, this kind of policy sector jobs as well. But on the other hand, if you think that if you are really passionate about pursuing this subject, and you want to really contribute to the knowledge of the knowledge base of the subject itself, then and you are willing to compromise 5-6 years of your life in doing a PhD, then then you should by all means pursue that. So it's really a matter of what you want to do. It's I mean, different people are different.
Yes.
It's not, there is no one formula for everyone. So it entirely depends on your own preference. Now, coming to your second question, in terms of somebody who would be interested in pursuing research and getting into research, I mean, the only advice I will have for them is that have patience. Okay. Like, none of these things happens overnight. And you don't become very good at research overnight either. So you have to have a lot of patience and you have to keep trying. So you will initially you won't have any idea what to do. And so you will ask your mentors what to do and stuff like that, and you will try very small, and you will fail very very often. So you will try something that won't work out so well. You will try again, you will work out so well. So but you have to keep on trying. You have to keep on trying, and you have to have if you're really passionate about it, you have to be at it, and you have to keep on trying, and you have to have patience. So I cannot. In a year or in 2 years, you are not overnight going to become like a great in terms of research, right?
Yes.
And you will never reach. You will never be like the best you can. Right? We are always like striving to be even after doing a PhD, we are striving to be better than we were before, right? So it will never be. This is a lifelong learning. So it's never gonna be finished. But you at some point you may come to a stage where you are kind of okay with the kind of skills that you have learned. Okay, but even to get to that stage is not something that will happen overnight. So you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to really trust your instinct. You have to you have to be under continuous guidance with your mentor and stuff. Continuously talk to them, and learn. So the objective, as I see it, the objective of doing a research is not necessarily for you to be very successful at it at the end.
Yes.
It's the journey, which essentially means like there should be learning in all the steps. So if you are doing something, and even if you are failing at it, but you learn something from it, and so next time you will be able to do this better than you were able to do it last time, even though that may again lead to some kind of failure. But again, you can learn something from that failure. So that's essentially the point. It's about the learning part of it that really, really matters. And as long as you are learning something from it, and you are, coming back to it, applying that learning, and you are doing better than before, even if not the best, that's good. That's a progress, and you keep on making progress. And once enough time passes, and you have made enough progress, you will be at a stage where you will be sufficiently happy with the kind of work you are doing.
So now it's very clear that research is all about passion, and even it is said that real research comes after the PhD. The PhD is a kind of degree that you are now ready for the research. Afterwards, research start, and once you are in PhD, you will be always a student. It's not just that we choose the MNC and we start comparing research and MNC. Both are quite different things. MNC may have paying good high number of packages, good something. But when it comes to the long run, definitely I would suggest research will win over the mental stability, financial stability overall, because
so it depends. I mean, what I would say is it's a trade-off. And it depends on you as an individual whether what you think about that trade.
Yes.
Right? What's your cost and benefit?
Yes.
Whatever the benefit is higher than cost, is whichever option you should do both.
Yes, sir. Because in 2025-26, if you see that where people are looking for instant gratification, and at the age of 22-23, once you start your masters, so it is very obvious once you see the peer, they are just flexing on the social medias and all. Definitely you think I should get the immediate result. But if somebody is in the research, I would even say, even sir has suggested, so it's not overnight journey, overnight success. You have to be very much passionate and always learning from the failures. That will definitely keep us going. Sir, the specific part, as you mentioned in the research learning, I would just like to ask specific to your course structure, what the things you people are teaching and the curriculum. Can you just put some light on it? What are the curriculum? What are the skills that people learn there? Different institutions have different method of learning. So please, what are the specialty about your course curriculum? The Ahmedabad University is training the students.
Yeah, so we have in the master's program, we have both courses that are highly theoretical in nature, and courses that are highly applied in nature. But both theoretical and applied courses have some kind of application. So some kind of application based learning. So it gives you some kind of hands-on experience of doing things hands-on, or experience of understanding, kind of able to relate very abstract theoretical concepts with things that you see in everyday life. So that's essentially, so the curriculum is pretty much designed with keeping that in mind. So it has, so there is usual, I can give you some examples. So for example, I take a course that is called empirical research methods. So that's about what it says. It's about empirical research methods in economics. It's about cross section and panel data, how to manage cross section and panel data, and how to find relationships and what to infer and whatnot. And so in this case, what we can, one way to teach this would be very abstract and just focusing on the theory and there are derivations, different methodologies, and these are the associated derivations. But especially given that it's a empirical research methods, which means it has an applied component to it. That's not really, that's the students won't be able to relate to that. So what I have in the course, I would not only have these theoretical concepts, but also there is this examples from existing research papers. So you can actually learn a lot from reading and understanding the research papers from established researchers that are published in well-reputed journals, from reading that and understanding what they are doing and kind of critically understanding it. It's not about just like reading a book. It's not like that. It's about critically reading something, which means understanding both the pros and cons of what they're doing. Just because it got published in a very highly reputed journal and it's a very well reputed researcher, it doesn't necessarily mean everything has to be 100% perfect.
True.
Nothing is ever 100% perfect. So there will always be some caveat or the other, and the difference between good paper and a bad paper really is a good paper addresses those caveats, acknowledges it, and talks about what they do to address those. A bad paper just ignores them. So it's about, so what I do is I use these papers and we kind of think about the methodology, in terms of the methodology we have learned, and this is the application of that methodology in the paper. How can they, how can they evaluate whether this methodology is being applied in the right way or not? So critically thinking through it and kind of thinking about, okay, if this is what they're trying to do, if this is the methodology they are trying to apply here, what would be the underlying assumption? Because if all of these methodologies are based on some assumption or the other. So what are the underlying assumptions they would need to make? And do they have a good reason to think that this assumption is going to be true for the particular context that they are discussing? Under what context will this assumption not hold? So critically thinking these things through, I think helps students a lot in later on if they pursue research in any context. It doesn't necessarily have to be academic research. They will. It's about learning how to think through the problem. It's not less about just like blindly applying. It's just about thinking it through. That okay, I know this methodology. I know this very fancy methodology. I have a particular problem. If I want to apply this methodology to this problem, what are the kind of assumptions do I need to make? And am I going to be comfortable in making these assumptions in this particular context? And if somebody asks me questions related to that, am I going to be able to defend those questions? So it's about thinking it through. So that's kind of the example from my course. So it's again, I believe that when you are, especially if you're doing a master's, but also in bachelor, and you are going to do research in whether academic or not, you need to have both kind of skills. So you need to have both a solid theoretical foundation, and as well as understanding how to apply that theoretical foundation in a practical context, right? in practice, how do I apply that? So I think so what the program does is essentially it's a mixed bag of both these type of things, and each course, I would say, of course, courses tend to be somewhat tilted towards being more theoretical
Yes.
or a bit more applied, depending on what kind of course it is. If it's a theory course, of course, it's going to be more towards the theory. But even with that, with practical real life examples, as well as discussions around how to apply this theoretical knowledge in practice, or where will this theoretical knowledge come in handy in real life. That's essentially the curriculum we go for. And of course, we have in terms of the evaluation components, we not only
Yes.
have this kind of usual classroom examinations,
Okay.
the midterm, final, and all of those, but we also have some kind of project, some kind of coding exercise, and stuff like that, that gives you that hands-on experience as well. So that's and also diversified kind of the grading components.
Yes.
Because you may not be very well in answering some theoretical questions directly, but when that question is put into a very applied context,
true,
be able to do better.
True. Yes,
right?
Sir.
So that's what we are going for.
Yeah, great, sir. Because some of the students are not good in if when it comes to the theory, so kuch na kuch you have to mug up, then you write. But some are very good in real kind of problem solving approach. Sir, thank you for giving us all the details kind of skills, and definitely in the course of whatever skills is required these days, if you see coming from the coding strata, art, these things have become the very part of course curriculum. And I found very interesting, sir, MS, that is Master in Science, which is a very unique name. The first time I have heard either MA or MSc VC if you go to any good institute or the renowned institute, but this is MS. So Master in Science. So can you just tell what's the story behind it, how it is MS? Usually,
so I don't think there is necessarily like a big story behind it. I think MSc is also Master in Science.
Yes.
It's just we prefer to call it MS.
MS.
I don't know if there is any particular reason behind it. As I think, we went from MA to MS simply because the course, the whole curriculum was becoming more technical.
Science oriented.
And economics in general have become more technical
and applied.
So which means like the theory is more of like applied mathematical modeling. The empirics are more like applied statistical stuff. So keeping that in mind, and also keeping in mind that we wanted to integrate it with data science and give this option of data science specialization. So we thought that having a Master of Arts degree is not going to be suitable given the current version of the curriculum. So we went it for a Master of Science. Whether it's MSc, MS, I don't think we even discussed that. It was MA, we went for MS. That was about it. But yeah, so and that is not to say that I think these are just labels. To be honest, I think these are just labels. Even with a MA program, there was pretty technical stuff being studied, and it's not like if you do a Master of Arts, it's not highly technical. All of these are highly technical. I think this is just a matter of calling it in with different name, but we felt that was needed simply because
data science,
there is too much technical stuff in it, and so just to send the right signal that this is going to be very quantitative, quant heavy. We wanted to send the signal, so we changed them.
Because sometimes its name has its own meaning. As you told, there would be definitely data science, AI, ML, and lots of data and quant driven course. So definitely, and that too is not only mugging up and just reiterating the derivations on the paper and you will be getting the marks. It's not like that. Sir, last thing before wrapping up the session, as this session was mainly for the career oriented, especially people who are looking to join AU Ahmedabad University. Sir, when it comes to the internship and the kind of job, especially after the master students, as I found you very young and very relevant, because earlier there was a time when you used to just masters, PhD and assistant professor, very simple. But now things have completely changed. Even I saw, even after the PhD, people join different consultancy firms and all, rather than going for the teaching, because different types of research they do, as you told. What kind of internship opportunities or the job opportunities that University of Ahmedabad University offers for the students, or we can expect in the future?
So you said internship opportunities, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Internship
follow up a
opportunities.
little bit. So,
Yes.
yeah, so the internship is part of the curriculum. So
Okay.
it's the summer break in between 2 years. So the first semester, second semester, and then you get a summer break, and then there is a third semester and fourth semester. So that summer break, you have to mandatorily do an internship. Now, what kind of internship you want to do, that depends on your interest. So
Okay.
you can do an academic internship and getting to do some research assistantship work, and that will suffice. But you can do some kind of policy internship. You can also do some kind of industry internship. And what happens is, from our experience of the past few years, the students who do especially this industry internship and policy internships, they end up getting placed in the same companies.
Yeah.
Once they graduate.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
So it essentially it builds a partnership and understanding. See, the way I see this whole job market thing, and it's not only said by me, there is a well-established economic theories out there. It's again an information problem. So there's too many candidates out there in the market, and the employer is looking for the most suitable candidate.
True.
Right? However, there is an information problem related to, you don't know whether it's a good candidate or a bad candidate. So once that, if the employer perfectly observes who is a good candidate, who is a bad candidate, they can select the good candidate and not select the bad candidate. Like, that's kind of oversimplifying the problem. But however, there is this information issue that persists. So I think doing an internship and actually working closely with these companies, depending on your interest, kind of helps ease some of those information constraints. In a sense that these employers then directly observe your work ethic and what kind of your capabilities and stuff like that. And so later on, your chances of getting placed in same or similar companies significantly increase.
Yeah.
So we do offer, just to come back to your question, we do offer, they must do internship, and that's like part of their curriculum. And I think they get some credit because of that as well, like in terms of finishing the program requirements. And more importantly, we have this career development center, CDC.
Okay.
So CDC helps students in terms of finding these internships. Not only that, it also prepares the students for the market when they eventually will get into placement, right? So when they will eventually finish the program and start getting into some placements. So that's the CDC helps them by starting from helping them preparing their CV to things like preparing them for group discussion, interviews, conducting like mock interviews, as well as finding companies for them to apply to, as well as organizing this on-campus placement stuff and all of those things. So we do have a dedicated career development center that helps with that, and that does also help with finding an internship or as per the interest of the candidate.
Yes. So that's the very good important point, because once you are in masters, as you told in the beginning, people are in the dilemma, and we have to think accordingly at 24 25, as where you think, I have to also do the internship. And thankfully, as you mentioned, this is the part of your curriculum, which is something very different and very unique, I would say. And I am very sure after the masters, definitely the kind of mentorship you people will provide, they will have keen interest in PhD, that too from the foreign. So no wonder if students will look for the PhD from foreign, they will definitely get great letter of recommendations or the kind of references, because as you have such a esteemed faculties group, that's really amazing. sir, and definitely students will feel blessed after reaching there, because we shouldn't think of in the short term just going there, getting a degree, getting a job. It's not that easy, or it's not even that quick fix approach, what I found. And thank you so much, sir, for your time. And what is required for the student, that we just talked about the course curriculum, about the internship, about the job market, and things will be definitely better. And sir, anything if you from your end you want to add, you want to convey message to the students, for the new students who want to join?
Yeah, so again, it's really I always think this is really a matter of what you really want to do.
Yes, yes.
Right. So it's as far as your career interests. If you want to do finish your masters, get into corporate, or you want to get into some kind of policy research area, that's fine. If you don't want to do that, and you are really passionate about it, and you are willing to spend 5-6 years of your life doing PhD, and you want to do PhD from abroad or in India, there are many good institutions in India as well. So that's also fine. So for both these type of students, we believe that we can prepare them with the tools that they would need to get success in their life, essentially. Yeah. To be successful in their life. And in order to do so, we'll have both a solid we will give you training in terms of both a solid theoretical foundation, as well as an applied knowledge of how to apply this kind of theoretical knowledge.
Capacity building things.
Yes. But one thing I would like to mention at the end, that the program is very demanding. It's a master's program.
Yes.
Talking about. So you must have done a bachelor or something like that before. That's assumed, and also that this is a master's program, so you will and it's a very quant heavy program, which would mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to come from an economics background. You may not come from an economics background. We are okay with that. We will teach you economics. That's not a problem. But you do need some basic understanding of mathematics and statistics, because again, this is going to be very quant heavy, so it will be difficult for us to. And we do have something called a term zero so the semester starts in August. But there is a term zero which starts in like mid-July, and the objective of this term zero is essentially to keep you up to speed. So essentially, it's more of a revision. It's like a 2-week long revision of all the mathematics. As well, basic math and basic stat concepts. However, like if you haven't studied them before at all, then it is going to be very difficult for you to cope up in the program and be successful in the program. So, because we will kind of have to assume, we cannot cover everything. So we'll have to assume that you have covered until a point, and then we can take it from there. So, that point is not very high, but at the same time, some basic understanding of basic statistics, basic mathematics is what we are expecting. So, keep that in mind, and then we hope to see you in August.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir. That the people who are done with the admission and all the exams thing, we have 1 month left. 1 month is left. So just do the basics maths, at least 11th, 12th level, basic derivatives, basic statistics, calculus, basic things. Which is required for the any PG entrance level is required in India.
Exactly.
So even that would be sufficient.
Not more than that. That's what we are looking for.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time, and I really wish you all the best for the new batch, and definitely they will learn a lot from you, sir. See you soon in the next time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.